All right, Brendan, here we go. Hornets right here on NBA TV. Happy Mother's Day to Tina Ball, whose son's Lonzo and active and long. He had 18 and 8 boards. So LaMelo wins the statistical battle over his brother with 22, 4, and 5, but missed a couple of free throws late, had a turnover there as well. And the Hornets probably give away they shouldn't have lost to a team playing without Zion Williamson.
And you might lose Lonzo.
Brandon Ingram or Josh Hart.
Wrist.
So here's the latest, and LaMelo was holding that wrist late in that game as well. Here are the up-to-date standings in the Eastern Conference. Knicks maintain a 1-game lead over the Hawks. The Heat are up by 2 on the Celtics with that game coming on Tuesday. Hornets still in 8th place for the moment, but here come the Washington Wizards on their heels. They'll be here in Atlanta on Monday. So, Brendan, beyond the top 3, which I think everyone agrees are the real contenders in the Eastern Conference as things stand right now, who from 4 on down do you think could play their way into, say, the conference finals or beyond?
A team that could possibly play their way to the conference finals, maybe the New York Knicks with their defense. Their defense is the best in the league right now. So they say that term defense wins championships. So the New York Knicks defense combined with Julius Randle's great play, that's a possibility. And also you have to look at last year's Eastern Conference winners in the playoffs, the Miami Heat. This team is different with Jimmy Butler. I think last year the beginning of this season, they kind of took things for granted, thought they could just walk out there and just beat teams just because they had been to the finals, and it's not like that. And when Jimmy Butler's there, they're a different ball club. They take on his personality. So those are the 2 teams I think can maybe scare some people. And those are 2 of the tougher teams that you have, too, from a mental toughness standpoint.
What do you think? Below those top 3, who can make some noise?
I shockingly agree with him, and I would have the Miami Heat above the Knicks. For me, the Miami Heat have it. They're starting to hit their stride at the right time. Guys understand their roles. The thing for the Miami Heat is they're able to conform to who they're playing. So they can start Bam at the 5. They can start a bigger lineup, put him at the 4. Their fluidness is a problem for other teams who are stuck in their lineups. They battled injuries at the beginning like everyone has during this crazy season. But for me, their mental toughness is the thing that's going to give them the edge over teams that maybe go, well, this is a little tough tonight. Do I really want to play like this? They are ready to play like that every single night. And then the Knicks is just, playing that type of team is not the easiest in the playoffs. So it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be exciting. It's going to be a grind out, punch you in the mouth type of game, and you got to be ready for that. But if you get past them, then for me, I think it's cruise sailing until you get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, as for Miami, I've been saying all along I thought they'd be a better playoff team than a regular season team. This is a huge game coming up Tuesday night on TNT. This will determine the first tiebreaker between the Heat and Celtics. If that comes into play, third and final meeting, then it is those Knicks wrapping up that trip in L.A. against the Lakers. Coverage starts with Game Time here at 6:30 Eastern Time. Still ahead here on this edition of Game Time, why Luka Doncic has that face.
That's funny.
3 blocks. He had 15 of 17 from the free throw line alone.
How much did I say that he needed to get for them to get a win?
I think you said 12.
I said 40.
No, you said 40.
I said 40. Listen,
you were
I know
right.
what I'm talking about.
You were right.
50-50.
And the Lakers get the win over the Phoenix Suns. Suns drop a full 2 games back of Utah for the best record in the league and, of course, the West. The Lakers are a game back of the Trailblazers, 2 back of the Mavericks for the 5th and 6th seeds, respectively. But remember, they don't have the tiebreaker against either of those teams. So add a number, basically, to both of those. Still looking like the 7th seed for the Lakers. But this was a significant development. We welcome you into Game Time presented by Kia from our Atlanta World NBA TV headquarters and other parts of the world where Brendan is. That's Channing Frye right there. I'm Matt. Good to have you with us. How significant a win, Channing, is this for the Lakers considering the state of affairs in L.A. right now?
I think this is good. You always want to end the season on some on a good note. And for me, this was that Anthony Davis game, right? We had seen this in the bubble. He's the most unstoppable guy in the Western Conference. I know that sounds crazy, but at his height, at his skill set, what he can do all over the court. At the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, they run the offense through him. Now, listen, you can't put a big guy on him because he could do this. And you can't put a small guy on him because if you watch in the first quarter, right, or even this right here, another big man, he's looking at a double team already. But he's just going to wait and find and be patient and find his shooters, right? You can put him all over the floor. And then right here, again, on the other side of the floor, You're just moving his spacing, and he's just big bodying, and he just got to get to his spot at the free throw line and shoot this little easy fadeaway from the paint. This guy is so dangerous when he's healthy and when he's aggressive, and the rest of the team needs to be ready to shoot like they were today. Ben McLemore right there, ready to shoot. Same with KCP. This team is dangerous, and adding Braun and adding Dennis Schroeder defensively, they are really, really good. I think tonight, at the beginning of the game, you saw them run some playoff runs, and that's what you call like a run, is where somebody goes and double teams the next best guy until the guy who you want to have the ball gets the ball. And Dario Saric got that a little bit. Frank Kaminsky had that, and they just weren't making plays. But I love the Suns fight, but this was a must-win for the Lakers, and they played like that tonight.
Can we go back to Anthony Davis, the most dominant player in the Western Conference?
He didn't say dominant.
I did not say dominant. I said unguardable. Unguardable.
So he's more unguardable than guys like Steph, Dame,
I
Luka,
think in a playoff series.
LeBron.
Okay, well, let's just say this. Anthony Davis tonight, with everyone out there, is unguardable. Steph is having a crazy year. He would be up there, but at his height, you can't double team him. Who are you going to double team him with? And he doesn't just rely on threes. Now, Steph is the greatest three-point shooter. That will be the only other guy I would say is unguardable. But at his height and his skill set, he can defend 1 through 5. He can play any position on the floor. He can post up. Steph isn't a post-up guy, but he is the greatest shooter of all time.
I think I like the way you phrased it.
Hey, man,
before.
y'all clip this off for me. I'm going to use this later on.
For who? Who else? Who else is there?
What are you working on another show?
What other shows you working on? You got to stick with the big man.
No, because when I'm right, I'm going to clip it and I'm going to send it to you. You know how we're petty like that. We send each other stuff like this.
I think the way you phrased it earlier was something about most difficult matchup in the Western Conference. I think that's maybe better than unguardable, because I get your point, because you bring in the defensive end as well. There's no way to really scheme your offense against Anthony Davis to take him out.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, Anthony Davis can play a 3, 4, or 5, right? I've seen him play with Terez. I've seen him play with Marcus Gasol, Drummond, Braun. And then there's no one in the Western Conference at his size and skill set that you would say, you know what, I'm comfortable with him guarding him, 90% of the time. Even tonight, he had Ayton guarding him. He had Saric guarding him. He had Kaminsky guarding him. He had Crowder.